the author of Reborn in the USA, An Englishman's Love Letter to His Chosen Home, available now wherever you get your books. And one of the men in Blazers, joining us mere moments after England bounces Germany in front of the home fans in the famous Wembley in London, is none other than Roger Bennett. I can't believe I get the opportunity to chat with you first blush after England advances to the quarterfinals in the Euro Cup, sir.
Holy crap, Rich. All it took for England to win a big boy game in a tournament against the Germans was for me to release a book about my love of the United States of America.
The timing is unique. Let's just put it that way. But you must be out of your skull right now, Roger.
Well, I want to be completely clear to you, Rich Eisen, to your audience. Although my accent does scream Liverpool, my heart is, Team America. I have become American. I ride with America when America play England, as they did in the Women's World Cup, where Alex Morgan sipped tea and told Piers Morgan exactly where he could put it. I root for the Americans all day and all night. But I will say, having said that, as a child of Liverpool, to watch France crap the bed yesterday in the Euros and then the Germans today, I'll just say that doesn't get old, Rich. This is the first time in my life England have beaten Germany in tournament play. They've been Ralph Wiggum perpetually since 1966 against Germany every single time. Just the Germans just know how to do it. This was a day in which English dreams will now be turned up to 11.
And I know, again, your book is about being reborn in the USA and what your book is about. That said, what is it going to be like on the streets of London tonight, right now, Roger?
Not just London. Picture the whole nation of England will just be like one giant city of Philadelphia. They better grease those telephone poles, is all I am telling you. We are the whole of England, and I often split with my pronouns. When I say we, I mean they.
Yes.
It will be Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl, and this was just a round of 16 game. There is no doubt in my mind we will probably go and crap the bed in the next game against Sweden or whatever. But honestly, for England to beat Germany, I want to be clear, the only thing they can do better than beating the Germans, Germany are just, they are the Death Star for us. They are just so unbelievably powerful. We essentially today, I don't like to be hyperbolic, but we saw Luke Skywalker fire a proton torpedo down an air duct. That's how much of a remarkable spectacle it was for me to witness today. It was genuinely incredible. And it doesn't matter. Yes, they may now go on. We can talk about how deep. But this day, for England, ballads will be written about this day. Tapestries will be woven. Fathers, sons, mothers, daughters will pass on this story for generations.
Well, and the last 48 hours in this tournament have been just stupendous, Roger. The matches of Monday, with both Spain and France blowing 2-goal leads, and ultimately the French, as you put it, crapping the bed. And
that's how you say it in French, Rich.
Merding I don't know. I don't know how to say bed. I took French in high school. My wife's fluent in it. I'm less than, basically, is what I'm saying.
Mate, they did crap the bed. It's been just every game feels like the Golden State Warriors giving up a 3-1 lead. It is genuinely, first of all, this tournament it's remarkable it's happening at all. Remember, this was cancelled last summer as the whole continent was under the grip of the pandemic. So to see just 11 cities across Europe, many with fans packing the stadium again, that's for me. It's a remarkable thing. Granted again after what we've been through. But the players then stepped up. Their national team jerseys, they're singing their national anthems, and this tournament does feel special for them. You can see there's almost a joy as they take the field. The joy of kids, the naive joy of being together. They are not taking it for granted either. And the football, these guys are exhausted. They're shattered. They played pandemic seasons. They are utterly mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, and they are just going for it. It's a tournament in which no lead is safe. We've all emerged from lockdown. I will say, however much we are going for it in life, no one has emerged from lockdown drunker than Euro 2020.
Roger Bennett here on the Rich Eisen Show. We also could not help but notice the Ruthian shot call from the Men in Blazers Twitter account during the penalty kicks yesterday. Mbappe miscoming, and then sure enough, wow, that was you, I imagine, correct? Not Davies who tweeted that one out.
That was me. Okay. That was a. People don't turn to us for footballing knowledge, Rich. That is a shocking moment. People don't think that we know what we're talking about, or we like people to think that we don't know what we're talking about. But Mbappe is a young giant of the game. The penalty shootout, Americans may. It's like Russian roulette. It's really a game that is only loosely connected to everything that comes before it. Football's the ultimate team game, and
right.
then if they run out of time, you're like, lads, let's have a one-on-one thing. They should really just have a dance-off. They really should. That's a dance-off between the team's best dancers would be as connected to the game as football as the crucible of the penalty shootout. So this is one of the best players in the world going to the penalty. 12, you're so close. You could touch almost the goalkeeper. But it's just a psychological test of nerve. And Mbappe, who had misfired the whole tournament, you could see he was second-guessing. He's gone from a world beater to essentially in his shooting action to Shaquille O'Neal at the free-throw line. And it wasn't a surprise. It was not a surprise. And it was very dark. When a player misses and his nation crumples because of his action, it's a lot for one human being, especially one so young. But that if he missed, we will predict he will come back, please God, stronger, more determined, more tenacious for that experience, and will dominate for years to come.
Would you prefer to go first or last in a PK, Roger? What's the benefit?
You mean if United States are in the World Cup final,
yes, sir,
and we're in the huddle, and the manager says, Roger, what are you feeling?
Yeah.
I think, it really doesn't matter to me, to be candid. I'd do whatever our nation needed. I'd do it with soiled underpants, that's for sure, in either position. And I would deliver glory. I would. It would be. I'm built for this. It's one of the sad parts of my life. I dreamt of representing the nation. I still maintain that dream. In my book, I write about meeting the Chicago Bears, the Super Bowl winning team. I met them at the O'Hare Airport at 4 a.m. in the morning. Walter Payton, my hero, Jim McMahon, everybody, a nation's darling, the punky QB. And, of course, William Refrigerator Perry, who was just a carnival of joy. I had his poster above my bed in Liverpool. And at 4 a.m. in the morning, he put his big arm around me. I was 15. I was I dreamt of America. I'd lived through the Bears. Their glory had shown me you could throw off 20 years of failure and self-sabotage and become a winner, which I personally, I needed that in my own personal narrative. And William Perry put his arm around me and he whispered into my ear. He said, dream big dreams. You can do anything. If I can do it, you can too. Which, now I work in sports, I know is just what every athlete says to any kid. It's just every cliche that they whisper to every kid. But back when I was 15, I was like, William Perry is telling me to move to America. And so, I do dream of taking that penalty kick. And when the nation needs me, I am there.
Yes, but would you prefer to go first or last, Roger?
For America's choice, America, I would probably, I think I'd do a job last. That's the most nerve-wracking one. They need the gentleman that brings tenacity. And also, Rich, you know me. I'm dead inside. I have no feelings. So I would not be unnerved by the I would deliver for you,
honestly,
United States of America.
Roger, that's one of the many reasons why I love you, is you fully admit that. And plus, you and I being part of the Bald Brotherhood, you giving me a Bilf Life mug that I have here in studio. Just seeing, the German manager's hair, it's impressive. Just seeing the perfectly cut suits. from some of these managers as well. I mean, Southgate's look is just amazing, and then there's never a crease out of order. It just is I'm stunned by it. I'm really just taken aback by the fashion and the pageantry as well.
It is the fashion, the anthems, the pageantry, the own goals. You were bald before Trae Young made it cool, Rich. You were a pioneer. You are an OG of baldness. Now all the kids are doing it. It's true.
But Roger, Trae. So are you saying Trae's going to be one of us soon? Is that what you're saying?
Why are you future tensing it? How are you future tensing it? Trae Young is.
He's there.
Trae Young, pound for pound, is probably, I would say, the best bald athlete in the world. I think I watch him. It's one of the many things I don't understand. Like I know so many red-headed human beings who watch Kevin Herter and just feel so close to him. Red velvet, he represents all of us. It's one of the things that annoys me about bald people. I love how we're talking about everything apart from my book here, Rich.
No, it's okay.
It does annoy me. You've got me off. You've got me angry. I'm like, it's a jag. Like everybody connects to their symbol of representation. We balds, we don't support each other. We don't look at each other and nod. We don't feel pride in each other's accomplishments. And I do what I say. I look at Trae Young as a bald man. I look at him and I'm like, Trae Young, you are a king bald. You represent all of us. And it's genuinely thrilling to see.
The fact that we are talking about other aspects other than your book, though, Roger, shows how your book is, in my mind, it just shows you that your book is going to touch upon so many other different things because you're a raconteur and you're an expert on so many different things like this that you could call your shot that Trae Young is already in the Bald Brotherhood. I think it's just like a full circle, quite frankly.
He's our leader.
He's
our leader. He's not just in the. I mean, we march behind his banner. He is, and again, I do. In all the sports, there's no one I watch and savor more than that man right now. Can we talk about my book?
Yes, Roger.
It's Independence Day. It's July 4th. It's America's birthday.
I love it.
It's just a time of glory, and I want to spread the love about America. It's a time to genuinely not to everything here that we often take for granted after a couple of years of chaos and challenge. Oh, that's why I wrote it.
So did I pick up what you'd mentioned earlier before that William the Refrigerator Perry was part of your early on process about falling in love with this country and wanting to move here, or that just
absolutely
no kidding.
Absolutely, 100%. William Refrigerator Perry, not him alone. I mean, there were many. Really, it started with Jonathan and Jennifer Hart, the movies of John Hughes, Miami Vice. When you see Crockett and Tubbs, that was like I was a flailing gentleman, full of self-loathing and no self-confidence. And really, Miami Vice, yes, it might have been a show about two guys keeping the world safe from the evil intent of drug cartels, but really it was, that's like say Animal Farm is a book about horses and pigs. It was really a manual of self-confidence aimed at teens around the globe. Be singular in style, find a look, stick to it. Even when you're going on a drug bust, don't wear Kevlar, just wear periwinkle T-shirt with your sleeves rolled up, no socks and a spadrilles. Just always be yourself. And everything I watched, the Chicago Bears, again, I talked about them earlier, to throw off your narrative of 20 years of failure, of wasting the career of the greatest man, Walter Payton, to ever pull on your jersey, and suddenly become a all-buccaneering, all-smiting, swaggering, trash-mouthing, boasting team who backed up those boasts with glory against arguably New England Patriots' greatest ever quarterback in my book, Tony Eason. And I've watched each of these and just took from them lessons about how to be in the world. And I grew up in Liverpool, the greatest city in the world, but Liverpool was really falling apart in the 1980s. The north of England was economically devastated, politically disempowered. The steel mills in the north, the coal, the cotton closed down, and Liverpool had no reason to be. My life was lived in black and white. There was high unemployment. There was a massive heroin epidemic. And I survived this kind of time of darkness by making believe I was an American who was trapped in an Englishman's body, by listening to Tracy Chapman, listening to Run DMC, watching the Bears. And really, I persuaded myself I was American before I'd ever set foot in this country. And the book is really about how externally the idea of America can fill you with courage, with belief, with aspiration, with a sense that a different possibility to the one that you're currently experiencing is there. And that's something I've made real by moving here, becoming American. And thank God, as you know, Rich, they allow bald men on television. So it's all gone okay.
And is that a photograph of you roller skating on the front, or is that a skateboard of you on the front cover of the book?
It is. It's 16-year-old Roger about to go to the Beastie Boys concert in Liverpool, which ended within one song as the Beastie Boys were canned off by my fellow Liverpudlians, and a riot ensued, which was tear gassed by the police, and Ad Rock was arrested. Another moment when I realized if I wanted to do something, to be something, to savor something, I had to leave. And then, of course, Tracy Chapman's album took over the world. And just listening to her lyrics about make bold moves, if you are miserable, don't just wallow in your misery, get out while you still can. That kind of completed the narrative. And I moved to Chicago really at the earliest opportunity. And what I will say, because this has been a time of challenge for America the past couple of years. We're just emerging from lockdown, a time of chaos, a time of darkness. I have stood in a courtroom in Lower Manhattan with 162 new Americans who came from 41 countries all around the world, many of whom struggled to be here, escaped civil wars, famines, worse. And we were all united by the dream of America, by the idea of America, and to be in that room, to say the oath, to become American, to fulfill a dream. When you've done that, it gives you such a sense of America as a place that can give courage, that can give joy, that can give deep, deep meaning. And that's really what I wanted to convey with my American story in this book.
And again, it's Reborn in the USA, An Englishman's Love Letter to His Chosen Home, available now where all books are sold just in time for July the 4th. Congrats on that, Roger. I appreciate the time. I always appreciate your wit, your sensibility in our conversations. I really appreciate it.
Ricardo Eisen, you are doing the Lord's work, and mate, it's coming home.
I appreciate it. So I guess before I let you go, one last football question then.
Sure.
Is it this tournament, who's the favorite now? Could it be England? I mean, is Spain? Germany and France are now out. Who's the favorite here?
And Portugal too. This is a tournament that I think the scriptwriter must be Christopher Nolan. It is so batty. It is so insane and narrated. Only a fool would make a prediction, so I will make a prediction if that's the case.
Great.
And I think not England. That's who will win it.
I love it.
To your listeners, to your viewers, ahead of July 4th, wish you all love and courage. Thanks for having me. You
bet. Reborn in the USA, An Englishman's Love Letter to His Chosen Home, the author, Roger Bennett, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Have a great 4th, Rog.
Thanks, guys.
You bet. That's the best. At Rog Bennett on Twitter, at Men in Blazers on Twitter and Instagram as well. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.